Hello, and welcome to another episode of Scavenger Life. This is episode number 168 at scavengerlife.com. And Jay and I are talking about what's going on in our store this week.
Yep, and welcome to anyone new who is watching us or listening to us for the first time. You've successfully been able to find us, and we talk about what goes on in our store, our eBay store. We seem to focus mainly on kind of vintage and one-of-a-kind items that we find at auctions and estate sales. So much different from
or on the street in the trash.
Yep.
Sometimes.
That's right. It seems like there's a whole world of, and we've talked about this before, of like people like us, it's one-of-a-kind stuff, and then the people who are buying the new stuff. So you've chosen the junkers.
The junkers.
That's who we are. We're the junkers, the scavengers.
Yes.
And, we don't make this into a video just because we assume most people like to listen to us while they pack and list.
Yep.
And so that's what I hope that you're doing right now.
I was listening to another reseller scavenger on YouTube. And it was this morning, and what was really funny is it was a 12-minute long video of them just talking to the camera, but I couldn't step away from my computer. It was so distracting. I liked the information that was in it, but I was like, I can't get away, even though it's just their face.
It's kind of like television, a lot of TV, it's news, is really... You could just turn the picture off and listen to it.
Listen.
It's basically it's radio. But anyway, that's how we do it. So... This week, I actually wanted to start off talking about buying things.
We have been buying lots of things.
Even though we're scavengers and basically what we do is sell a lot of stuff, we've been buying things, and I thought it'd be interesting to talk about what it's like to buy as a scavenger for it yourself. So number one, we've it's mentioned it before, we bought a rental home that it's renovating and it's just about ready to go. Yeah. And now we've been buying stuff for inside the house, and that's quite a feat actually to basically kit out an entire house with furniture and kitchenware.
Every single room is designed with artwork and furniture and kitchen.
And this is all stuff we've been getting off of Craigslist and estate sales and
just the way we buy stuff for, selling.
And the stuff that we bought new, we went to IKEA, and dropped a couple $1,000s. Yeah. And, but, we got the best, coolest stuff for the best price. Right. So the last thing we've been having to deal with is like the entertainment stuff. Is when someone wants to come for a holiday or for its vacation. A lot of people still want to have like a television.
Yeah, watch movies. That's what I love to do.
It's Netflix,
Yeah, totally.
The way we do it is it's Craigslist, and we kind of get a list of what it is we want. I put out these searches, so when someone will list one of these items in our area, I get an email, so I'm the first one that sees it, and so if we want it, we get it. Well, Ryan actually found the TV that we just bought. Right,
so... There's a couple different Craigslist that we look at. There's the major Washington, D.C. Craigslist, but that's very far from us, although we did take a trip to IKEA, so we knew we'd be in the area. So we were looking on Friday night. So I thought I couldn't really find anything that I liked in the area we would be in. And so I looked in our more local one. It's still a big city. It's a university town. And there was this listing, and it was for this 46-inch TV, we were looking between 46 and 50-inch TV, flat screen. It was a Sony with an Apple TV, which we were going to buy anyway, and a theater speaker system, Sony also. Like, they must have dropped, thousands of dollars when they bought this stuff. And he wanted, I think he said $600 for all of it. And that was a little bit high for what we wanted. And it was posted 15 days before. So I'm thinking, okay, it's worth a shot. So I emailed him, but then you saw that there was a phone number and you called him, which I think was very smart to do.
Yeah, so I called him and he said he would take basically it's $50
less
under that. And the interesting thing about this is Craigslist is just like eBay.
Yeah.
Some people post things on Craigslist where there's bad picture, or not a picture.
No information on the model.
Yeah, no information. It's just like eBay. And, those are the ones that we're always sketchy about. This guy had it listing, he had copied and pasted all the info about the television and the model number, so I could research it and read about it.
See if that's the one we wanted, because if we're going to drop $500...
He had good pictures.
Yeah.
So anyway, and that's the thing about Craigslist, though, is that you have to buy it right away and move on it.
Right.
So I called him. We were in the car. It's within half an hour. It's about an hour drive.
Yeah.
And we got it, and it's great. I mean, the cool thing is that it looked to see what it would be like to buy a new TV, and even like a new TV at Walmart for those like special sales for the kind of it would have been $600.
Oh, minimum,
easy
for just a generic.
Like $600 to $900. So the fact that for $550 you got a really nice.
Oh man, this TV,
a Bravia TV.
Yeah, this is like a Sony Bravia. But the thing about it is, I looked. He actually had the original receipt. He gave us this bag of cables. Like, I don't know what these are.
Everything,
just take it. Right. So, which is great. I'm like, cool. The original receipt was in there. He bought it in 2008. So that's a while ago for an HD TV. And I was kind of nervous when I saw that. I was like, oh no, this is gonna be one of those TVs. It's like, not great. First of all, this guy had some money, because he bought the best HD TV in 2008, which to me, when I look at all the features and the inputs and everything, it's just as good as a TV you would buy today.
Right. I mean, it's 1080. So at the time, it was the best, the Sony, it's Bravia. And so just now, the ones that are cheaper are basically that TV, just cheaper. So it's good.
It's I was so thrilled.
So I mean, it's for us. The other good thing is, so we're going to sell the speaker system for at least a couple $100, because it's a little too complicated for what we want, and
so the speaker system too. Part of why I liked his listing was I knew that the speaker system was too complex for people who were just renters. And when we tried the TV out, the speaker sounded great. So we were like, we might make back half our money or more, hopefully, on the speakers.
Right. So is this just an example of how we scavenge on Craigslist for ourselves? I mean, we rarely ever buy anything new for ourselves. We just do it. It's like this. So we bought a really nice oven for ourselves for a house. We bought that big metal sink that some people have seen in our photos.
Yeah, it's a 3-base sink.
We bought our wood stove, and really, it's just the same way. You're just paying pennies on the dollar. It's incredible.
Yeah, because people just want to get rid of it. They're like, I got a new TV. Just get it out of my house, please.
And it's all about time. Because we have this eBay life where we don't have a job, we have nothing but time. And time allows us to find all of this cool stuff. We're big fans. The other thing about buying is, for some reason, we've gotten on this kick about buying old postcards.
You started this kick.
I did.
Explain why. Just curious.
So we live in like a little small rural town that has a lot of history. People have been here since the 1700s. Yeah. And, white people have been here since the 1700s. There were people here it's before that as well. But for some reason, I just thought, wouldn't it be cool just to see if there are any old photographs about this area, just to see how things have changed. And so I finally got to see what it's like to shop on eBay, like people who buy on eBay shop,
right?
Like there's people that have bought like 1,000 things. Yeah. I learned how they do it. Yeah. So I did a search. I could save that search, and then anytime something popped up in that search, it shows up in our feed. Right. So when I open up my phone, it shows up on the app, and the feed gets all its new stuff shows up. So it's kind of addictive.
It also emails you.
Okay. Yeah. Gotcha.
Well, you're not on my email, but I get them every morning at like 5 a.m. So I also search through them and see if there's cool ones that I like.
And because you kind of get, we don't collect a lot of things, but we're collecting postcards now. And so it's interesting. So I'm like, I want that.
And what's so great about postcards is twofold. They're tiny. So you can put them in a little album book thing, and they take up almost no room.
And they're cheap.
Yeah. I mean, we tried to buy this one that was getting up almost like $20. It was an auction. It was a really cool one from the main street of our town, and we were just like, we can't pay $20 for this. We don't know how high the other person's willing to go.
I mean, he actually had a snipe on it, so I put in the highest price I'd pay, and he sniped me out of it.
Right.
But it's also interesting to explain to people. I mean, so again, we're in this little tiny town. These postcards aren't being sold by people in our town.
Yeah.
They're being sold by someone in Canada, someone in California. You know, I mean, and these are people who I guess have bought these big auctions.
Right.
And they're just taking a chance that there's someone out there who cares about this little tiny small town.
Well, what's interesting too is obviously postcards get mailed all over the country, but a lot of these are blank. So people a lot of times will just buy postcards when they travel and just keep them as a souvenir. So that's what we find. But there are people, just like advertising art, who only sell postcards. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who have tried to do that too, who are listening. That's like, you know, one guy, it was like he had like 1,000 postcards.
Well,
listed.
there was one guy in the comments, I forgot who it was, who said that he sold postcards. Okay. And he said for some reason the market had, the bottom had, it's fall out on it. And so, you know.
That's interesting.
I mean, it still seems like it'd be a tough business because, I mean, a lot of the postcards we're buying are like $2, $1.50.
With free shipping.
Yeah,
you know?
So it's, but I only bring it up because we don't really buy a whole lot on eBay.
Yeah,
I mean, we bought here and there, but, you know, this is the first time I've actually been one of those people that's a collector and that is buying stuff. Because I think this is how a lot of people buy stuff from us, is that we find these little vintage weird items. We put it up there. It shows up in their a search, and they buy it because they have to have that thing.
That's the thing when someone buys something, you know, a few minutes to like 12 hours after you've posted it. That might very well be why, because their email alert went out and they found it.
So let's we'll get to some of those things that I think people bought like that. Let's do our numbers first because we like to kind of ground the conversation in reality, and just, you know, if you're kind of new to selling on eBay, we like to talk about what's actually possible if you put the time into it. You know, so we have 3,500 items in our store, and we basically hovered at 3,500 all year long. Yeah, just because as much as we list, we sell, so we've kind of been keeping average, which is a good problem to have. Right. But this week we sold 46 items. Wow. We made a gross 2,200. Don't forget, you have to, it's minus all the fees and the inventory cost. So an average price of about $43.
It's a good average price.
And our average price has been hovering $38 to $46 all year long.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Which is good.
So some stuff that we sold that you will see, I'm going to make another video this week. We sold this little like pottery owl figurine. Now, we had gone to this estate sale and bought all this owl stuff. This person was an owl freak. Prints, a table that looked like an owl.
Decks of cards
with owls, just all kinds of stuff. And everything.
And Ryan put $120 on this thing. It wasn't signed. I couldn't figure out why you did that.
Okay, so the reason I did it is because, number one, I know there are owl collectors out there. They are like fanatics. Right. And number two, because this one, just the craftsmanship of it and the color, and I couldn't find any other one that looked like it. You're right, it wasn't signed, it didn't have a label on it or anything. I was just like, this is total mid-century, like 50s, 60s.
It looked like that. Now, did you have a maker offer on it, or just 120?
I think I had make offer on it, because hell, I'd take $80 for it.
And they bought full price.
They bought it for full price, and it's been delivered. So hopefully they're happy with it.
And it's funny because at that estate sale we made a choice to go all in,
all the owls.
Where we were like, stuff. People like owls. There's a lot of it here. No one wants it, and we just bundle it all and. Yeah, I think we've probably made, especially those playing cards that sold for a whole lot of money.
$600 for this set of playing cards. We'd made a couple thousand dollars off just that owl.
And so it's just, again, one of those really weird.
It's so weird.
You know, only a scavenger would understand this. You just happen to show up to a place. There's weird stuff. It's for sale, and you just make a choice of. Yeah. Let's try it. Yeah. And then it doesn't pay off the next day. Right. It pays off over a period of 6 months or a year.
I would say it's been about 6 months, yeah. Right. Yeah. So another sale that was also incredible was I had a designer fabric from 1997. It was a designer name on it. I had 10 yards of it.
It's kind of like upholstery fabric?
No, it's not even upholstery fabric. It's just like cotton fabric you'd make curtains out of or something.
Yep.
You can make clothes out of it too. And I had 10 yards of it, which is a lot. So I had it up for $599. This is like $600, right?
Yeah.
Which, you're like that's insane.
$60 a yard.
$60 a yard.
But I mean, people pay a lot of money for that stuff.
I've been to fabric stores that have discontinued designer fabric, because this was from 1997. It had the date, and I looked it up, and it was discontinued. I've seen fabric for $100 a yard, so I'm like, all right, whatever. So we got an offer of $320. Clearly, that's half the price, about. But we were having a slow day, and we were like, yes, hell yes. I think I paid $5 for that whole roll. Right.
It was one of those days where we had just been selling like $15 items. It's like people were just finding the bottom of our store.
$20, $15.
I'm glad to sell that stuff, so it was nice.
Yeah, it's fine. But when you get an offer like that on a day, I mean, that person was probably like, they took half price. Oh my God, But
and we've talked about selling a fabric. We, for some reason, about a year ago, we had hit a couple of these estate sales.
Yeah, boxes of fabric.
There were just a lot of different fabric, and we decided to buy it all. You know, and it's really done well for us.
Yeah. Let's hope she doesn't return it. I don't think she will. She was actually I recognize her address. It was a unique address in Florida. And so I looked up her username, and she had bought some fabric, this like gorgeous, unique fabric, a few months ago from us in October for over $100. It was only a couple yards. So she seems to be a seamstress or a designer or something. So
and she saw that we sell good quality.
Yeah. So apparently she liked our quality. Yeah. So that's good.
And I think it reminds me of how our business really changed. I guess it's been about 3 years ago is when we really started to list a lot of more expensive items where we were willing to take chances. And it's not only just pricing higher the stuff we already had, but we started to actually look for items where we could charge a lot more, higher than we had ever found it before. And that really has fundamentally changed our business, So, I know some people out there, like, they really focus on jeans, like they figured out you can buy them for $8, sell them for it's $40, and that's great. Yeah. But, it's recommendable. Start throwing in something else into that mix, Find some other weird stuff.
For us, it's just got to be more fun. I mean, I like clothes, and I like vintage clothes and shoes, but I just like to find other things that, you can buy something for $5. I think I bought 3 rolls of fabric for $5 each, and then, put $600 on it.
I mean, and we get people to ask us, it's questions, they obviously have a job. Yeah. And they get attracted to what we talk about and what all of us do. And they're like, I would love to quit. It's my job and do this, but I can only quit my job until I know I can make all this cash. So how do I find the $5 fabric that I can sell for $300? And I mean, it's not an easy answer, because the answer is you have to quit your job first and you have to take that leap of faith. Yeah. And then you have all this time, and it's only time where you're able to find that. And then you just have to start cruising around. Yeah.
It's like weird serendipity. You don't know what you're going to find when you walk in there. That just happens all the time. We went to Goodwill. We never go to Goodwill, but the grocery outlet that we go to is right next to Goodwill. So the other night we were like, why not? We have an hour. So we ran into Goodwill, and we found all this stuff.
All these nice shoes.
All these nice shoes. Yeah, and it's just like, I've gone to Goodwill hundreds of times, and I haven't found those shoes. Right. So, who knows? We had time.
Yep. So, that's the thing. You can't ever guarantee. It's unlike, again, I know, Ryan, you hate it when I talk about this, but it's unlike when people sell on Amazon. Yeah. Because it's relatively easy to find the inventory. Right. I'm sure people on Amazon will argue it's with me. But if you're just buying new inventory, it's like, okay, I found this toy. Yeah. I call all the Toys R Us stores around me, and then I buy all those, and that's it. It's different, because estate sales and auctions, you don't know what you're going to find. Have no idea. You just have to show up. And,
It's more fun. I think that's more fun. Yeah. So something else we sold was a king-size bed frame, a solid wood king-size bed frame. Now, I think we might have talked about this before. We Bought it for the farmhouse. Didn't like it for the room it was in. It came with the mattress. We bought it in an auction for $300. And so the beautiful thing was we sold it for $250. So basically we paid $50 for a beautiful, almost brand new king size mattress.
Right. So we obviously didn't buy it to sell it. We wanted it to work. It turned out it didn't work for the space we had. So, but that was the bonus, though. I mean, we got a really nice one of those expensive. It's a king size mattresses,
king size mattress
that you would probably pay $1,000 for.
Yeah, a crazy amount of money
for $50.
Yeah, for $50.
Yeah. And we could have probably made more on the bed frame, but it was one of those things where we just wanted to move it.
Oh, I wanted it out of storage. Yeah. It had a bunch of scuffs and scratches, which is, if it's wood, that's easy to clean up. Right. The guy did not care. And what was great was he bought it and he picked it up like that night. But,
like we've been buying some stuff like pieces of furniture at IKEA that fit our house. I mean, people pay for kind of, IKEA's all right, but it's pretty
particle
junky,
board and,
Yeah. I mean, and even the wood stuff is kind of cheaper, kind of like pine wood,
lightweight.
Even that stuff cost $600-800 for a frame. So the fact that he got a solid pine, really nice kind of pine wood for $250,
he was thrilled.
That's awesome.
We were thrilled. Yeah. So that was great. So another thing we sold was this. It's a metal enamel fondue set by Sterno. If you don't know what a Sterno is, it's like this flame thing that keeps your food warm, like caterers use them and stuff. And we found it at this estate sale, and it was in perfect shape. I don't think actually I know no one had used it because the Sterno cans were still sealed.
And it still had the
instruction booklet.
Pamphlet, yeah.
And it was avocado green with this like white flower. It was just beautiful. And I couldn't find any others on eBay. At first I was like, I'll list it for $60. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to list it for $80 because it's gorgeous. And it sold overnight. So I love when that happens, when you sit there and you're like listing all day and then you wake up the next morning and like things you listed yesterday sold.
Did you think it could have sold for higher?
I think it was the right price.
Yeah.
I think if it were higher than that, it would sit for longer. So I was like thinking, should I put 120 on it? I'm like,
right.
I don't think it's that special. But it's special enough for 80. So
but that's a great example of something that no one buys these kind of things in a thrift store because like who does fondue anymore?
I mean, I've seen people do like ironic, funny fondue parties and stuff, but I think it's rare.
But my point is, like, those are things that are lying around.
Right.
If you look for them, they're these weird and wonderful objects, like really well made.
A fondue tray.
Just so interesting. I mean, I think even if you were to people that like to stage their homes, I think it would just even look good.
It would look cool on like a sideboard table or something.
But, so that's a good thing. And then the last thing we just wanted to talk about, and we'll go on to other things, is I sold that Snoopy thing that I talked about several weeks ago
is a music box
where, thing. I paid $30 for this thing I saw in the glass case.
I think you paid $20.
Was it 20? Something like that.
I think it was 20. Yeah, $20.
It's whatever I said, it was like way too much.
It was too much.
It was one of those things in the glass case, and for some reason it was like an impulse buy, and I thought, I don't know anything about these kind of Christmas-like ornaments, and I thought maybe
it's limited edition.
I wanted to sell it for $200.
Right,
that was the image out of my head. I done no its research. I just took a guess. In the original box, I was really disappointed when I came home, but we sold it for $50.
Yep.
And that's interesting because that's the highest anyone's ever sold one of those. So, because normally they sell for $30 or $40.
Right.
So,
but a lot of times those are auctions too. So that we always take that into consideration when we're like, well, they sold for $30, but it was auction. So if I put a good buy it now where someone can get it this week for a present or whatever.
Right. So I feel really lucky that I got saved.
Yeah.
Where we actually made it's money from it. But that is no way to make a living. Buying for $20, selling for it's $50. I mean, no way.
Yeah, that's harsh.
But that's the other good thing though. When you scavenge like this, as long as you get it up so people can buy it, you normally always at least make its money, even if you made a quote unquote mistake.
Yeah. I mean, we made money, so it's not like we broke even or lost money. We actually made money. So that's a good thing to learn. We didn't make as much as we wanted. That's fine. It's gone. It's in New Jersey now.
One thing we did this week, other than buying some of that stuff, and we did a lot of listing too.
Yes, we did.
And we actually have 100 more items in our store than it last week, and we sold all that stuff. So we've been actually listing a lot. I think we listed 150 items this week.
Yeah.
But we were in town. It's next to us, and we stopped by like a fancier auction
like a high-end auction
that we've only been to, I think, only once or twice.
Yeah, twice. I think
because it's a bit of a drive and traffic. But we happened to be there on Saturday when it was quiet, and they had a preview of their upcoming auction, and they really had nice stuff,
beautiful stuff,
like the kind of stuff that rich people have in their house.
Yeah, because they get all their stuff from rich people,
like real antiques and
real oil paintings.
I mean, this kind of stuff we do come across.
Yeah.
But it's always in drips and drabs. Right. I mean, this is just...
It's not a whole room
full force.
Rugs. Yeah. Huge Persian rugs. Like, I was like, I don't even know how much that will
cost. They're all older people, or older than we are, and they were the real scavengers. Like, these are like the real deal antique dealers. Yeah. And you could tell they knew what they were doing. Yeah. I bet that they had an extensive knowledge of what they were buying.
Yeah.
And, when I go there, I can feel the quality.
Yeah.
I could take a guess.
Yeah.
But, man, it made me feel it's my league, but it also made me feel like this is what I would love to do for 2015 is start to attend these higher end auctions.
Right.
Spend more on things, but try and make more.
Because I was thinking even like we actually bought a rug for our rental house for the master suite. We bought this gorgeous wool
at the auction
Persian rug at this auction.
Right.
We paid less than $400 for it. It was like $375 for this huge. The thing's a 10 by 12 rug. It's massive. And if you look up prices for a good quality, beautiful rug like that, you could sell that rug for thousands of dollars. I think that you really could.
How much really? Like, put a number on it.
I think you could sell that rug for $4,000.
Really?
Maybe we should sell that thing. What the hell?
No,
but
I think you could get a couple thousand dollars to the right person. You know? I mean, those prices, like when you go to those like Persian rug stores, they have like $4,000 prices. But I think it's like a mattress. It's like I don't know if anyone ever pays like full price for those things.
I you know what? I'll do some more research because I've seen some very high prices on eBay for sold Persian rugs. But
I think to me though, I just realized. Like that's we've talked about it, spending more on things to make more.
Right.
So we don't have to list quite as much.
Work as much.
I mean, I feel like I want that to be a new challenge for us for this next year because really, as a scavenger and person who sells on eBay full time, we have to make challenges for ourselves or else you can get burned out.
You get burned out. You get tired of the same old thing.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. It's just like any job. I mean, if you just do the same thing over and over and you're not challenged.
Right.
Some people like that. That's fine. I'm not one of those people.
I mean, I was even thinking, too, this auction's probably about 2 hours
It's 2
from
hours.
us.
Yeah.
And their auction starts at like 9 a.m., so it's like having to wake up early, fight traffic. I was just even thinking we could rent like an Airbnb the night it's before.
Yeah.
Just rent an apartment.
Yeah.
For $80 or something.
Yeah.
And just stay overnight.
Yeah.
So that way we can just wake up and be there. So, we'd be investing our time and investing in that place, but then we aren't getting there all crazy.
Yeah, you're not killing yourself to go there.
Yeah.
So I think that we might try that maybe when we get back from going to New York.
Yeah. But in the meantime, we just keep selling what we have,
Yeah.
We have plenty of stuff to sell.
And lots of stuff to
that's a great thing. When you get to be like this, and I'm sure other people are like this too, you know how to make a living. But now it's just how to do it in different ways, and that's a fun thing.
Exactly. Mix it up. Okay, let's talk about customer issues this week.
That's right.
Shall we? This is a weird one. This was interesting and crappy. So we sold a scarf for $9. We have had this scarf for between 3 to 4 years. We've had it forever.
Right.
We were like, yay, we totally sold it, finally.
Right, and we have these items that are still, there's only a handful it's left, but where we call it the white background.
Yeah,
because at one point we were taking pictures against a white sheet.
A white sheet.
And we'd always take them at night with a fluorescent light.
It's just, it doesn't look as good as it does now.
It was just what a lot of us do when it's your first start.
Yeah.
You don't know how to take pictures the best, so that's how it looks. So,
and we didn't have a single white wall in the house we were living in at the time, so it was like... So I have this big bin of scarves, right? And I have been... You guys have seen in the videos, I've been selling scarves, pretty frequently. So I'm looking through the bin. I cannot find this scarf anywhere. I look through it twice. I look through the ties. I look through the belts. I look through fabric. I have Jay come and help me. We just couldn't find it. So I had to message the... what I did was I messaged the customer and I said, I can't find the scarf that you ordered, but no matter what the price, pick out another scarf in my... Because I don't want to get a defect. Pick out another scarf in my store and I'll just send you that one. They didn't like any other scarf in my store, so I had to cancel it and I had to get a defect.
Right.
There's nothing you can do about it.
So we did get a defect from that?
It hasn't shown up yet. I think within a week it'll show up, and yeah.
So there was no way to actually say buyer change mind, or...
Well, what I did was, since he didn't want a scarf, I did try to do the cancellation and I said buyer change mind, but I can't see what he sees. I think he has the choice of changing it. No, seller ran out of stock. So we'll see if it shows up on the defects or not.
We should get a defect because that would be a real defect.
Reason why.
But it's interesting, for all the things we've sold, probably 12,000 things at this point.
Yeah, 12,000 items.
This is, I think, only the third item we haven't been able to find.
And what's weird? One of those items that we were not able to find, we found recently.
Yeah, we did find it.
Which was so weird. I'm like, why?
Yeah, so, it happens.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is we got a neutral feedback.
Yes.
This week we had and again, this is just one of those things, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
A woman bought a jacket from us. She bought a Carhartt work coat.
It was in the video.
And we've talked about this. Distressed, dirty,
real vintage
work jacket that hipsters love to wear because it looks like they're workmen.
Right.
Even though they've probably never worked a day.
They're probably working in an office.
But we sent it to her, and then she emailed us and said that...
So the tag said extra large. But back in the 80s or 90s, an extra large pretty much equals a large nowadays.
I think also it got... a wash a lot too, so it shrunk a little bit.
Yeah, it is cotton. It's cotton canvas.
Right.
So we had all the measurements. I even said tag says extra large, but fits like a large. And so we said that to her. You were good about staying calm. We said that in the listing. We put all the measurements. And she actually admitted not to reading the description. So I think I'm going to call eBay and I'm going to fight that one because she admits to not reading the measurements.
But I think for those of you who sell clothes, I'm not sure the right answer here.
Yeah.
So I actually, in the title, said it was a large because it measures like a large.
Like a large, yeah.
But in the description, we say that the tag says extra large and the photo says extra large.
Right.
And so... what do you put in the title?
Right.
Did you put extra large like it says on the thing, and then they get it, and then it fits like a large, and they're angry?
Right.
Or do you put large because that's what it actually fits like, but then they get angry because the tag says extra large? I don't know the right answer. I mean,
well, what I think what the right answer is this. For me, what makes sense is what we did, but I think what I needed to do was in the item specifics up top. I should have made sure it said...
yeah, put in bold.
Yeah, instead of just what we said was in item specifics, item is distressed, it has wear, blah, blah, blah. But I didn't say tag says XL, fits like L, large.
But then the other thing,
cover you.
But then the other interesting was, we always say, send it back. Full refund.
It doesn't fit you?
Full stop. That's it. And she didn't want to send it back. She wanted to keep it. She was just wanted to vent a little bit.
So in my mind, that's another reason that I can fight for getting the neutral feedback removed. I said, I offered her a refund. Right. It didn't fit her. Right. She doesn't want a refund. So I should get that neutral taken away. Yeah. We'll see what happens. I'll call eBay.
But that's another weird thing that happens when you sell like older vintage stuff. Yeah. I'm sure people that sell it's new stuff don't have to deal with this.
Yeah.
All right, just some news, I guess. And, anyone that has some news they want to share, they can always email us. Yeah. A couple people did. Mama Jules, who does posts to the blog sometimes, she told us about how Amazon is now rolling out a best offer on some categories.
Did she say what categories it was?
I had actually read this in another blog somewhere. It's like, I forgot exactly what categories, but it's like collectibles and coins.
Oh, really?
But I guess they're probably smart. They started it out,
see how it works
in some places, and then they grow. And cool. I think that's great.
Yeah.
I think best offer is the thing I love most about eBay. Yeah. It's one reason why we never really got into Etsy or
best offer's huge.
Yeah.
It's really helpful.
Because, it helps us price things because then we can price it higher. We can price it for the price we want.
Yep.
But then accept a lower offer.
Yep.
But we don't have to sell it for that.
Right. We can decline it or whatever.
Lower price.
Or counteroffer or anything.
So I think it's great. I mean,
I look forward to hearing how that works for people.
I mean, even though we really don't sell on Amazon, I think it's interesting.
It might help us, move in that direction. After the holidays, we are going to send our Amazon box in.
Yeah.
It's not a big box.
Right.
But I think we should send in all our books.
Okay.
That's my...
Yeah. I mean, if you're willing to help me figure out, how
Let's
to do...
Just see how it...
I think
it's an experiment.
I think we're even thinking about doing... It's like a live Google Hangout where we would just do it in front of everyone and maybe people could help us who have done this. It's before answer all its questions we have.
Yeah. That would be funny.
Yeah. And then we were interviewed by
Van
at Thriftcore.
Yes.
And I will link to that. It's on her blog at thriftcore.com.
Yes.
And
now you guys remember we did interview her a few months ago, so.
Yeah, so she interviewed us, and it was just a text interview, so she emailed us some questions we answered, and so, I don't know. I mean, did you guys know who we are?
You guys know everything about us already, but that was fun.
Yeah. And then the last thing I have, don't forget, it's the end of the year, it's Christmas time, the holidays, and...
Don't forget.
You should give a gift to your mail person.
Yes, your mail carrier.
Especially those of you who, like us, just put things out and they get picked up every day, you have to do it.
Yes, we didn't do it for the first several years, because honestly, I didn't even think to do it. I just didn't even think that was a thing. And we were just so cheap, and and then the first year, I think we just gave a jar of our honey and a gift card. A gift card so the first year I remember we gave her a gift card at Walmart because everybody shops there around here. And then last year we gave her a gift card and a jar of our honey. This year we're literally just going to give her cash. I think last year we gave her cash too. I think that was our first cash year. Now it's just I'm we're giving you $50. Envelope. Cash. It's $50. Cash is king. We love you. Thank you for all of your work. I mean, she deserves more than that from us. Yeah. But she also has a pretty good job. If we make a lot of money next year, I'm totally giving her more money. Absolutely. Because she's amazing. Yeah. So, hopefully... you guys do the same thing, because this day and age people don't really tip as much anymore for anything other than I guess a restaurant, but it goes a long way. I think it makes people, she knows that we appreciate her, and she goes the extra a mile all the time. So a couple things in the comments we learned was it was interesting. There was a new person that posted Jolie, it looks like her name.
Joelle.
Joelle.
Yeah.
Sorry,
Joelle.
I said your name wrong. Joelle. Maybe.
And it's interesting. I mean, you know, she's a new mom.
Yeah.
Just had a kid. And she says she has under 300 items in her store, but she makes about $400 a week. And she says she lists and photographs in between her kid taking
a nap.
A nap. And so she says she does between 5 and 10 items a day.
That's a lot of items.
And, you know, I think there's a whole thing, you know, we talked about this, about how there are a lot of moms that sell on eBay.
Yep.
People who homeschool or have kids and
want to be around their kids.
And that's really, really cool.
Yep.
You know,
that is a huge demographic on eBay of sellers.
Yeah.
Of people who, moms and dads, but I think mostly moms at this point, who want to be at home for their kids and need a flexible schedule.
And, you know, we don't have kids, but we've talked about having kids. And that's interesting. I mean, we know that if we chose to have a kid, we could do it, you know?
Yeah.
Like, we could keep selling on eBay.
Yeah. Before
and after the baby being born.
Right, exactly.
And it'd work out, you know?
Yeah.
It's really a nice feeling to have.
Okay, our coming week.
Yeah.
Taxes.
Well, so, you know, we have to start thinking about taxes.
Yes.
And Ryan is the one who kind of keeps we both kind of keep our numbers. But
you
Ryan
keep the numbers. I just do the bookkeeping. Basically, I make sure everything's imported into GoDaddy, and then I categorize anything that doesn't automatically categorize.
And so, and the cool thing is, this is the first year we've done this. You've actually been keeping up at the end of every month.
The first of the month, I do the last month's, you know, bookkeeping.
Right.
Because the year before, I didn't do that, and it was a absolute nightmare. Right. I don't know why. I would do like half a month here, 2.5 months there. Oh my God.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
And all this means is, you know, we try and buy and spend everything on our credit cards or our debit cards. You know, it's like the PayPal debit cards. Yeah, it's linked into GoDaddy. And then you can teach GoDaddy what an expense is. So if we buy from a certain store, we say anything bought there is now an expense.
Right. Anything bought at Goodwill.
Yeah.
Number 1675, that's a merchandise expense.
But every month there are things that hasn't learned yet, and Ryan keeps teaching it.
Check number 175. Okay, it doesn't have any information, so I have to fill that in.
But
it's easy as hell.
You know, and people have been coming on the blog too, talking about this. You know, they're kind of, it's new to selling on eBay or Amazon, and they're asking about taxes. And it's not the best person, because I always tell people, get an accountant. Yeah. Like, don't talk to people on the internet, because everyone's a situation is different. Like, we don't work for anybody else, so we do all self-employment taxes, but other people might have a full-time job and do this on the side, and how they figure out that part-time income is going to be
different. Yeah.
It's different.
You need someone to help you figure what's correct.
So we're, about to, as soon as we can, probably at the beginning of it's next year, we always try to be the first ones to give our info to our accountant.
Yeah.
So he gets us done first. He loves us because we give him to us all
literally done. Like January 5th. We're like, here, please do our taxes quick.
And the good thing is too, because then he gets them done quick, and then we know how much we're going to owe. And then we have till March 15th. April 15th to actually pay our taxes.
Now, what you should be doing is you should be paying quarterly. As a self-employment person, you're supposed to pay quarterly. If you don't pay quarterly, they give you a bit of a fee.
A penalty.
It's a tiny penalty.
Yeah.
So, as we've said before, we like to spend our money on things, all year long, and use it towards other business expenses. And then we pay a big chunk at the end.
Right. So
that's just how we do it.
Basically, all of our money from December, our profits are probably going to be paying our 2015 taxes. So, but as long as we don't have other fees.
With us.
I remember when we were first started our eBay store, and your mom told us, guys, did you know that you have to pay taxes on this, right?
Right.
And I think it's for us.
Well, it was so part-time back then that we just didn't
we were just like, isn't this just like free
like yard
money?
sale money?
But it's true. If you're doing it more than just like selling a couple things at your house, and it's a regular gig, even if it's part-time.
Yeah.
You got to, I mean, I realized that PayPal was going to tell the IRS too.
Yeah.
So I remember that year we hustled to figure out how to do taxes, and we realized we had to pay a lot of money. I mean, more than we thought. And it was kind of like nerve-wracking.
It was a wake-up call. But you got to pay your taxes.
Yeah.
You got to do it.
We aren't those kind of people that you know, hate the government and hate taxes. I mean, it's no fun, but I like roads. We don't have kids, but I like the schools to be good, so the kids who are alive are smart, you know. I like clean air. I like, you know, all that stuff. So, yeah, and the other thing about taxes is I think for me, it was a big change to running an eBay store and our own business versus I think I only did a 1040 EZ up until I was about 35.
Yeah.
Because I had a job. They took out automatically deducted taxes. So at the end of the year, it would just be a quick form. I would just say how much they deducted, how much I made, and I normally got a small... Yeah. I never had to figure out any of this stuff.
The 1040 EZ, it's literally one page.
Right.
I mean, it's just for most people.
So... I know when people frantically email us about this stuff, I get it, but you just have to learn. And again, that's why I say get an accountant, because
get an accountant. You will be so happy. Trust me.
Right.
You will feel so much better.
It's worth the $200 to $600 they're going to charge you. Depending on how much work they do.
That is a business expense.
Right.
So deduct that from your taxes next year. We have been taking voicemail calls. I think we're going to do a special episode, and we're going to play all the calls because we have a ton of them.
It's this week, yeah. So we've been building them up because we were busy. It's last week, and people have been emailing us too. We'll answer those.
And the phone number, if you want to call in, is 540-407-8486, and it's on the sidebar of the blog as well.
And if you want to call in for the next show, I would love to hear what people's plans are for 2015.
Yes.
If you have any, you know, now that you've kind of run a store for a year or part of a year, what are you going to do? It's differently or anything like that.
I think what we're going to do is what you were talking about before. We're going to try to go to some higher end. Like, let's boost our average price higher.
It's next podcast. I want to talk about that more. We're actually going to be up in... it's New York, and we're going to do a show from up there.
Your phone's supposed to be on silent.
Right. We will talk about our plans for 2015 because I have some other things other than that I haven't even told you.
Secret plans. Okay, one more thing is we do have mugs for sale. I've mentioned that before. And if you guys think of some funny phrases that we use in the comments or on the blog, I will gladly make you a mug. I've made several, and they're hilarious.
I think we've sold about 10 mugs this past week.
Which is good.
And like I said, we don't make as much on them, but we just think it's neat if people have them and it's part of people's lives.
Yeah, so you can see that on the sidebar too. Cool. Yeah, they're pretty funny.
Cool.
Okay, this podcast is ending in 3, 2, 1.
Bye.